I grew up in a non-basketball family. I didn't really start rocking with hoops till I was like 12 years old. But that doesn't mean I didn't have no experience with basketball up until that point. Coincidentally enough, my earliest memory of basketball was the Lakers. I remember Kobe grabbing the ball and running with it down the court when they won the 2010 championship. I was only about 8 or 9.
Odom throws it ahead! The Lakers repeat back-to-back titles! The LA Lakers, the 2010 NBA champions!
I have a vivid memory of asking my father why didn't he dunk the ball to celebrate. What a lame question, Gavin. I didn't really understand basketball. That seemed like a possible celebration in my mind. I was low-key rooting for them because a friend of my father's was a die-hard Celtics fan, so I naturally went the other way. Going back to when I was 12, I really didn't feel I had a team. I actually spent my whole 7th grade year plotting on what team I was gonna pick. When looking at the league first glance, it was hard at the time to not look away from the Clippers. I saw Chris Paul and he was a star I felt like I related to. And there was also Blake Griffin, who was making stupid highlights week after week, and he had really everyone's attention with his lobs. So Lob City seemed like a viable option in my mind. Due to my love for Chris Paul at the time, I don't rock with him like that anymore. He bounced my Lakers out of the playoffs. Due to my love for CP, I really thought one day I was going to become a Clippers fan. But that didn't end up happening. In the summer of 2014, I just happened to have another run-in with Kobe. For my 13th birthday, I ended up getting a present from my aunt that ended up redirecting me. My aunt had got me a Nike Kobe shirt and some Nike Kobe shorts. It was actually hilarious because I was wearing not a Clipper shirt, but it was a Chris Paul shirt. I was wearing some CP3s. Oh, I don't even remember what the CP3 7s maybe? I don't even know, it was so long ago. But I was wearing a Chris Paul getup, right? It wasn't a Clipper getup. It was a Chris Paul getup, not a Clipper name in sight. I never went all the way in with the Clippers. So when I saw that Kobe outfit, I was like, Kobe? But my next thought was, yo, these are actually fire. But the next thing I know, I'm pulling up to school for my 8th grade year, rolling up in Laker outfits day after day. One day was a Laker fit, one day was a Kobe fit, next day was right back to a Laker fit. It kind of just looked like I woke up one morning and just decided, yo, I'm a Lakers fan. I ended up watching at least half of the season. Yes, it was a terrible losing season, but I tried to catch as much games as possible. I was a young kid, so my time wasn't really in the hands of me. It was in my parents and in like school and like sports. I really only had like a small opportunity, so it's like rushing home from practice to catch Laker games. In that season, I fell in love with them. Growing up in high school, being a Lakers fan was very interesting for my generation. We were losing. We were losing a lot. Terrible seasons, but every single game felt down to the wire for me. Yes, I was a new basketball watcher, so I really had to learn the game. I would be asking my friends that were hoopers, like, yo, what is this about? So I could really know the logistics of the sport, right? With all those losing games, I still had joy of watching them because there were just personalities that I remember that were always fun to watch. You got like Robert Sacre and like Wesley Johnson. I remember watching like Ronnie Price, Wayne Ellington, Jeremy Lin. Like that was like the era I got to watch. And of course Kobe, but he was battling injuries. My early like 2014, 2015, it was hard to catch Kobe at Lakers games because, you know, he was dealing with his shoulder. He was getting old. 2016 is, you know, when Kobe retired, and you know, when I got to see him play for the first time, it was special. And you know, he was like an idol in my mind. He really grew to be that for me. Bigger than basketball in life. And the way he went out, that 60-point game was a highlight in my mind and will always forever be stuck in my head watching that game. I could just recall many games of watching Kobe. Really. I could recall a bunch of games just like watching the Clippers, like, because we didn't have a great team. We didn't have a great team, and so like going up against the Clippers was like challenging. They had a good season team. They didn't have a good playoff team. They actually just made the Western Conference Finals this year for the first time, so clap for them. They get their Western Conference banner. So after Kobe left was like the D'Angelo Russell short era with the ice in his vein celebration that was like always a thought in everyone's mind, or thought in my mind, like, oh, is this the game where he hits a step back and runs down the court? Oh, this is different nowadays. This is the, you know, which led into the Nick Young situation of him leaking that information about him and this chick, D'Angelo Russell. Is a snitch, and that's what people at Lakers game was calling him, a snitch. That was actually funny to watch. I remember going to, it might have been actually Kobe's, like, it was like one of the last Kobe games I went and saw, and there were a lot of Lakers fans that were just saying F D'Angelo Russell. Like, they really didn't care. It was hilarious. Dude, I love Laker fans. Anyways, the last time I saw Kobe was in 2017 when he got his 2 jerseys retired. I actually went to that game versus the Warriors. We lost because Lonzo blew a layup, but that was one of the dopest games. I got to see Kobe's jerseys retire. I got to see him speak in front of everyone. It was a legendary speech too, like legendary, like one of those you look up on YouTube and watch over and over again. And I will never forget that day. So then like post D'Angelo Russell was like the Lonzo Ball mini era. Lonzo Ball is from my area, Inland Empire, so he was always on my radar, even at UCLA, a little bit at Chino Hills. That was interesting because that was the time Bron came over. When Bron came, it was like, whoa, I didn't expect this. Like if I'm being honest right now, I was like that off season, I was like, yo, we should get Kawhi. Kawhi is from my hometown. We should get Paul George because he's from SoCal, he's from Palmdale. I really wanted them to. I don't know why I was so close-minded about LeBron, because I just didn't really imagine LeBron coming to LA. When he finally got here though, I understood why he come here, you know. The views, he got his entertainment company, just business in general in LA. Who wouldn't want to play for Lakers? LeBron coming, you know, that one season, what was that season? That 2019 team was hilarious. I love, like right now, everyone's like making jokes. Everyone's looking back on that 2019 squad because it was hilarious. It was a meme team. It was an actual meme team. You got Lonzo Ball.
In again. Lead pass. Lonzo's got it. What a dish. Oh, he blows the layup.
Oh, you got JaVale McGee.
Final in astonishment as here's Harden off the step and start. Oh, what a...
You got Lance Stevenson, who's making a fool of himself.
Ingram threads the needle with the pass. Stevenson badly misfires.
So it was hilarious and fun.
Bees, little look away. Lance, oh, he's got it. He was already heading down in the other way.
You know, Lakers fans love Lance Stevenson, and there was just so much other like laughable characters that were on that squad. And then, you know, we finally turned it around with, you know, AD and then went and won a championship, which was amazing because that was like the first championship run I followed. Because when I saw them win the first time, I really only remember watching the very last game, that last memory of Kobe, and that was the only memory I have from the 2010 championship. So when we won now, I got to follow it the whole time. It was our first time back in the playoffs for long time, but not as long as a lot of the NBA teams have. So everyone want to criticize Lakers fans. Well, we were out of the playoffs for more than 2 decades, dog. Unlike your team that led into this year, you know, me, sophomore in college, and you know, watching us, you know, try to make another playoff run, me following it video by video. It was fun because that kept me really more engaged than I ever really been. But we came up short. We came up short due to injuries. You know, it didn't work out this year. You know, we didn't, all the cards were in our hand coming off of last year. You know, we had a quick turnaround. That's a completely different video, but explaining excuses. All Lakers fans want to make excuses. Bro, there's reasons here, bro. Reasons here. Quick, fast-paced season, short off season, coming off a championship run. COVID, when we won that, I was like, for Kobe, man. That could be cliche or whatever, I don't care. It might be cringy, I don't really care, but that's what it was. That was the feeling, you know, that year. It meant for a great championship run, and then in this year we came up short. Now we're in the off season, and now we're thinking about the future. That's every Lakers thought process, is the future. We can go win a championship, we can celebrate, we're gonna have a great year after a championship, but then it's back to the grind. If I had to pick out one thing, I think that's what makes someone a Lakers fan, is that will to win and that never satisfied attitude. Because once you're satisfied, it's over. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. You know, YouTube is crazy. Most of the people watching this video aren't subscribed, so make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you keep up on the weekly videos, because they crazy and there are a lot of things that you haven't seen. Make sure you check the socials out. TikTok poppin'. There's videos posted there multiple times a day, so make sure you stay in tune with that. Until next time.